The first book that I'm going to start with is Little Leaders, Bold Women in Black History. This is by Vashti Harrison, and it includes profiles of significant leaders in Black history. There's another one that's Little Leaders, Bold Men in Black History that features biographies of men. So today's biography is going to be Florence Joyner. And this is the illustration of Florence Joyner. The fastest woman of all time. Florence Joyner was a sprinter, and she was born in 1959 and passed away in 1998. As a child, Florence loved to stand out, which wasn't easy growing up with 10 brothers and sisters. 10 brothers and sisters. Her mother was a model and her grandmother a beautician, so style and beauty were always a part of her life and often how she expressed herself. Her athletic talents emerged early on. When visiting her father in the Mojave Desert, she caught a jackrabbit that tried to outrun her. By age 7, she was already winning races, and she had a successful athletic career in high school and college. At California State University, Northridge, she met her longtime coach, Bob Kersey. By 1982, Florence was making a name for herself in the track and field world. She stood out as a superb athlete, but her personal style could not go unnoticed. On the track, she sported flashy uniforms, often ones that she designed herself, and long fingernails. In 1984, she participated in her first Olympics and won a silver medal. She took time off from running and worked other jobs, including bank representative and beautician. She married fellow runner Al Joyner, whose sister, Jackie Joyner, soon married Florence's old coach, Bob Kersey. With a family full of runners, she was encouraged to get back into competition, so she set her sights on the 1988 Olympics. She won silver and 2 gold medals and set a new world record that she still holds to this day. She also picked up the nickname Flojo. I see somebody put that in the comments. Even with a successful athletic career, Florence had other passions and interests. She developed a clothing line and nail products, wrote children's books, and established a youth foundation. She would never be defined as one thing, and most certainly would always stand out from the crowd. So that was Florence Flojo Joyner's biography. I remember Flojo when I was growing up. I remember those long nails and that hair, and she definitely did stand out. And that's her picture again. So I am going to now add in our guest reader. I see you there, Coppa Stone. Good morning. And let me invite him in. Share with us today. It worked. Hey, good morning. All right. So, greetings and welcome to Storytime in Color. Everybody who is watching, I would like to introduce you to Mr. David Coppa Stone Kennedy. And he's joining us today as our special guest reader. Mr. Kennedy is also a teacher, a 6th grade teacher, has been a college professor, and a musician. So your talents are wide ranging, and we're so happy that you could join us this morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Kamila. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. And so what have you been doing to keep yourself busy during quarantine?
Well, first off, I want to say thank you for having me. I really appreciate the opportunity and the space. And so during quarantine, I've been doing everything. I think I've been at least one thing for 5 minutes. So I've been a chef, I've been a gardener, a farmer. So I've, taken up a lot of new habits. And it's been a very rewarding experience for me in some respects. So, a lot of reflection as well. So.
Absolutely. We have a lot of time to do that. And I just want to take a moment to say good morning to Lane, 7 years old, watching us at home. So we do have some youth viewers. So with that in mind, can you let us know the book that you're going to be reading, why you selected it, and then when you're ready, you can go on into reading it.
All right. So a special good morning to Lane. All right. And good morning, greetings and good morning to everybody else, parents and kids. All right. So the book that I chose for today is called Be You, which is by Peter Reynolds. And the reason why I chose this book is because I have two daughters, two girls. My oldest daughter is just turned 11, and my youngest daughter just turned 5. And this is a message that I teach them all the time, that you should be unapologetically you, because there's only one you and there's no other you in the world. And so this really resonated with me in terms of the message of the book. All right. And so that's why I chose it.
All right.
All right. Be you. So let's get started. I'll just go to the very first page. All right. So you were born to be so many things. But my wish for you, no matter where your journey leads, is for you to always be you. Be ready to take that next step towards being an amazing human being. Be curious, turn every stone, ask every why, and keep digging deeply and discover your own answers. Also, be adventurous, live a big life, and when you're ready, step outside your comfort zone, bravely explore new paths, and see where they lead you to. Also, be connected, find kindred spirits, and be with those who make you feel like the real you. But you also have to be persistent. Keep going, never stop. Keep going, never stop. Guess what? Keep going and never stop. But it's also important to be different. Be silly, be quirky, be odd, be unique, be weird. You can be colorful, and be okay with being different, but more importantly, be just the way you are. It is also important to be kind and to be understanding. Help those around you to be themselves. Listen, then listen some more, and then learn more about who they are. You should also be brave. Try new things, take a deep breath, and plunge forward into the new experiences. It gets easier, I promise, every time you try. Be your own thinker. Think for yourself and set your own unique course. It isn't always easy, but you'll be heading in the right direction of you. You should also be okay with being alone. Take time to be on your own. Hear your own thoughts, your inner voice, and listen to your heart. Be patient. Being more you takes time. Take a deep breath, relax, and let your future unfold at its own pace. I promise you it will be worth the wait. Be okay reaching out for help. When you need a helping hand, a compassionate ear, an encouraging word, reach out. As you voyage out into the world, remember, no matter what, you will always be loved. All right, so you are ready. So go ahead, be you, and be the very, 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 very best you.
Awesome.
That is the end.
That's a great book.
So
That
be
is a
you.
awesome book. Awesome book. And you mentioned that you have two daughters, so you're a hashtag girl dad. And um, you said that this book and the message in this book, one of, embracing your individuality and being comfortable with yourself and, kind of learning to, the roots and wings. You want your children to be rooted, but you also want to build them up so they're comfortable flying away and leaving. And so, as an educator, you're doing a lot of teaching to children, between your own children at home and the children that come through your classrooms. A part of that experience is also learning from the children. So, in addition to imparting this type of message to the children, what are some of the interesting lessons that, coming from a child's eyes, have opened up your eyes and your experiences as an educator and as a parent?
I mean, I think with both my own children and my students, like some of the things I've learned is just how their perspective on the world. And so they really just take things as they are. A lot of times we as adults, we try, we read so much into everything, right? Which is important in some instances. But sometimes there's also a certain value in just accepting things or seeing things as they are. And so I think that even as a teacher, my greatest two teachers have been my two daughters because they've taught me so much more about just life and how to approach life. Simple things are just having fun. Sometimes we forget to have fun as adults, and that's something that I enjoy doing with both my students and my two daughters as well. And the same thing applies in the classroom. It's okay to have fun in the classroom. Learning can be fun. We can do fun things, and as teachers, you have to learn not to take yourself too seriously, and
Right.
have fun with your students. So I think those are like two of the best lessons that I've learned from both my children and my students.
Yeah, that's great. And now, what other things are you working on? I know that you are a musician. We didn't talk much about that. You want to talk a little bit about what you're doing with music?
Yeah, so I'm a reggae and a hip hop artist, and so I've been creating music for a while now. Before I became a teacher, I was an artist, and the I guess because of my background, because I'm originally from Jamaica, but I migrated to the States with my family. So I've always kind of grown up with reggae and hip hop, and so I kind of took that and sort of created my own style, with a little bit of soul. Sometimes I try to sing R&B, but yeah, so that's kind of my approach. But with my music is with music, I feel music is very important, and it's important in education as well. I mean, you realize growing up as a child, you remember those nursery rhymes, like they stay with you for your whole life. So even growing up in Jamaica, we had this rhyme that's how we learned the days of the week. And so it was Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, christened on a Tuesday, married on a Wednesday, took sick Thursday, worse on Friday, died on Saturday, buried on Sunday. That was the end of Solomon Grundy, right? And so that has stayed with me my whole life. So anyway, so I feel for me why music is so important to me is because I started to see how the two intersect with education and music. And
Mm-hmm.
as a musician, it really helped me out as a teacher in the classroom because as a teacher, you are on stage in a
Right.
sense when you're teaching students. And so that my prior experience as an artist actually prepared me as a teacher in the classroom. But I've also taught at the university level as well in education. And so I think I just enjoy the learning process and, the journey of starting out with a group of students in the beginning of the year and the journey that takes you to the end. So,
Cool. Thank you. Well, I appreciate you joining us and letting us get to know you a little bit. Is there anything else that you would like to share or final words before we sign out for today?
I guess I do. So there's a song that I wrote a very long time ago. It was actually for my oldest daughter, and it's now for both of my daughters. It's called Anything in Life. And so for those of you that are online, please check it out. As I said, my artist's name is Coppa Stone, and it's a song that I wrote to my daughter. It's a message to her as well as the children all over. I'm also working on another project that I'm going to put it out into the universe so it can exist. It's called Reggae Daddy, and I'm looking at parenting from almost like a reggae perspective. So those parents who are heavily into reggae music and culture, obviously me being Jamaican, but also highlighting like the positive, rewriting the narrative of Black fathers as well. That's a whole different project, but I'm speaking it into being. But otherwise, my other message would be is for all the children on here, this is important. Please be you. We don't need anybody else in the world. We need you. All right? And the last thing is for those who joined in, thank you very much. I do appreciate your time and you being here. And thank you as well, Kamila, for having me. Respect you to the Black Archives for this opportunity. It's a joy, honor, and pleasure.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming in today, Coppa Stone. You have a great day and you be well.
You as well. All right, take care. All right?
All right. Thank you. So that was a great story. I love the message behind it. I really appreciate Coppa Stone for joining us today and sharing a little bit about himself. I hope you all enjoyed Storytime. For those of you who joined late, we will be posting this to IGTV. And I just want to remind you all to stay tuned to our Safer at Home series. We're producing content every day, 6 days a week. And we have something really special coming up this Wednesday on July 15th. It is called More Than a Hashtag, Preserving the Black Lives Matter movement during the digital age. And we're going to have a great session with panelists discussing how we as archivists, historians, and community members are going to be preserving the civil rights movement that we're in right now. And it's going to be moderated by the Black Archives Director, Timothy Barber. The panel will include Black Archives staff, as well as our founder, Black Archives founder, Dr. Dorothy Jenkins Fields. We will have Llewellyn Kramer, who works at the Miami-Dade College Wolfson Moving Images Archives. Also photographer Cindino Time, and the director of the Historic Black Police Precinct and Courthouse Museum, Terrence Cribbs-Laurent. So I'm looking forward to this. So all the parents definitely want you to go to our bio here on Instagram, and you'll find the link to register to join the Zoom so that you could be a part of this very important conversation. So again, thank you all for joining me. We had a great session today. Appreciate you all for sticking with us, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.